If you're a gamer and want to have the best advantage when it comes to competition, you of course need to start off by having an amazing controller. And these days there's a lot of competition grade controllers that have a bunch of extra features, such as extra buttons on the back, so you can actually have that competitive advantage that you're looking for. So right here in front of me, we have the RIG Revolution X competition grade wired controller that also includes Dolby Atmos. This controller is actually officially licensed and designed for Xbox Series X, Series X, Xbox One, as well as Windows computers. When you got that still, you know you don't just have a cheap knockoff controller that's gonna break down the line. So this controller isn't just a basic controller. Seeing how it's made for competition, it has all these different features that'll let you have a competitive advantage. First of all, this controller is wired, so you'll have as little latency as possible. There's a quick select button so you can switch between your custom profiles depending on what game you're playing. It has adjustable trigger sensitivity and button mapping so you can customize it to your heart's content. It features 4 programmable rear panel triggers so you can clone other buttons to go to these buttons so you can have a competitive advantage. It features swappable concave and convex thumbsticks, installable weights that can go in here so you can have the controller weighted to your liking depending on if you want it lighter or heavier. It has a customizable color LED light ring around the thumbstick, a 3.5mm headset jack with Dolby Atmos 3D audio, and it all comes inside of a zippered storage case to keep it nice and safe when you're traveling around for competition. And one of the best things about this controller is there's actually an official app on the Xbox and Windows marketplaces, so you can actually customize everything about the controller digitally on the app. Very cool. Overall, this is looking like a great ergonomic controller. I mean, the packaging looks great, so I feel like I got a quality product here, although, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. Okay. Inside the box, we have a little guide that's going to walk you through programming the controller in different languages. The Dolby Atmos card, and it looks like the Dolby Atmos subscription is actually linked to the controller, so once you connect it and download the app, it'll automatically enable it. And it even came with some RIG stickers, which are looking very nice. So you can stick these on your laptop or your Xbox or wherever you want. And then we have the actual hard shell case. I mean, this case is looking nice. So we have a nice Xbox green zipper going around the sides. It's very hard shell. It's definitely going to be protected. We have some Nacon branding on the front, embossed right here. You can feel it. Open this thing on up. Very nice zipper. And oh wow, we even got a microfiber cleaning cloth to keep things nice and clean, because you know damn well your hands are going to be sweaty while you're using this thing. We also have a 3-meter long braided USB-A to USB-C cable to connect to your Xbox, because remember, this controller is wired and it's unable to be used wirelessly. But the good news is, if your cable does get damaged, you can easily replace the cable without having to replace the whole controller. Next, we have this plastic case that has all the extra accessories in it, including the weights, the different thumbstick adjusters, as well as the different thumbsticks in case you want a rounded tip. I really like how customizable this controller is. And then we have the actual controller. Okay, this thing actually feels lightweight, feels a little bit different than a standard Xbox controller. It kind of reminds me of a Mad Catz controller, to be honest, from back in the day. I don't even know if they still make those. By default, the thumbsticks are concaved and they do have some grooves. This one actually has the logo and this one actually has just some dots. They aren't as grippy as I was hoping. They're a little bit smooth. Like, you could feel the grip, but it's not like a rubbery grip. It feels like plastic. As far as the D-pad goes, we don't have one of the D-pads that have the corners as well. It's just up, down, left, and right. Although, you know, of course, you can go diagonally if you want to. Of course, we have the standard Xbox buttons along with the share button for Xbox Series S and X, as well as 4 LED lights down here on the bottom so you know which profile you're on. As you can see, we have the customizable LED ring around this thumbstick. The placement of the buttons is great. I mean, they're very clicky. Everything's working very well. Of course, we have the A, B, X, Y buttons, very good. Thumbsticks are very responsive. Triggers feel good. Back buttons, they're all right. They're clicky, but you know, they don't feel as nice as I was hoping. Up top, we have the USB-C port to plug in the cable. Down on the bottom, we have a 3.5mm headset jack so you can experience that Dolby Atmos with your wired headphones. And then over on the backs where things get more interesting, we have the profile button so you can easily toggle between profiles. We do have a switch here to switch between classic and advanced modes, as well as the 4 rear paddle buttons that are easily customizable with the app. Very clicky as well, and they actually are in a very good spot to be used while you're playing. Okay, very good, they feel great. And then of course, you remember, you can slide off these 2 panels here, and by default there's nothing in here, but of course you can customize it with a weight of your choice. I'm gonna go with the 16-gram weights to start off, see how that feels. They easily just pop in here, just like so, and then you can slide the plastic piece back on. Okay, I like this a little bit better. Feels great in the hands. And looking at the design of the controller, there is grip along the edges on the top as well as the sides and the bottom of the back. Very good, so that way you're not going to be slipping in those intense gaming sessions. This braided cable's very nice. Let me actually get it plugged in real quick. So now of course the next thing I gotta do is get this connected to the Xbox and take a look at the different settings and customize it and give it a test to see how well it actually works when you're playing a game. Alright, so here we are on the Xbox Series X. We're going to open up the Revolution X app after we have it downloaded and installed. And we're greeted with this screen. We have an update controller option that doesn't appear to be doing anything, so I guess it's already up to date. The app doesn't look super amazing. It's pretty basic, but it gets the job done. We have management of profiles. We'll go to that. And now we actually have 4 default profiles, including one for racing and sports, one for first-person shooters, one for arcade fighting, and one for infiltration. You can also make custom profiles like so. So you can go to new profile, and now you can customize the button layouts of everything. You're not able to customize the profiles that are pre-installed, but you can make your own based off of them. So right here we have button mapping to start off with, simple stuff on the face of the controller. Obviously I'm going to leave this all as is because I happen to like the way it is. Now pressing the Y button, we can go to the back, and this is where I actually wanted to make some adjustments. So I use the 4 extra buttons on the back. I really only want to use S1 and S3, which are the top big bumpers on the back. So I put A on the right one and B on the left one. The other ones I put Y and X, but you can also adjust it to nothing if you so choose. Then if you press the right bumper, we can do the left stick, and we can actually see how reactive it is and adjust the points depending on how you want to use your controller. There's also presets here. The linear is perfect for racing games and sports games. Reactive is for first-person shooters with most weapons. Boosted is for first-person shooters with sniper rifles. Immediate is perfect for arcade and fighting games, and ultra reactive is perfect for infiltration games. Then we can go to the right stick and do the same thing. I just left it all on progressive because mainly I'm playing first-person shooters. Then we can press the right bumper again to go to triggers, and you can adjust the trigger sensitivity. Default is classic, where you have to press it down 100%. We have short, which is perfect for first-person shooters. That gives you 50% press before it activates. We have delayed, which is 10 to 100%, and then short and delay, which is 10 to 50%. You can customize both the left and right trigger to your liking. And you can even do a fully custom version if you want to. Next we go to audio, and we have different equalizer settings. We have racing and sports, first-person shooters, arcade fighting, MOBA, as well as chat. So depending on what you're doing, you can choose one, and you can even adjust them depending on what you want to do to customize it to your liking. And you can even have audio 3D effect turned on and off. And then we have advanced settings, and this is where things get even more interesting. We can adjust the hand grip vibration for the left and the right. By default, we're at 50 for the left and 75 for the right. I've never tried that, and it sounds like it makes sense since you're shooting with the right trigger, not much with the left trigger, so you want to have more vibration on the right trigger. And then we can even have the vibration of the triggers themselves, either off, low, medium, or high. And then we have the lighting for the controller, so it's actually in 4 quadrants. You can adjust the colors to whatever you want to customize it to your liking. Once you have the colors set, there's different effects. You can have it off, you can set it to pulsing, you can set it to cycle, and you can set it to prism, as well as how fast you want it to cycle between the different colors. And then over all the way on the right side, we can invert the left and right sticks, as well as the D-pad if you want it to be 8-way or 4-way. I'm going to leave it at 8-way because I like having that option. And then once you're done, just go back, and then we have the different settings. So by default, we are able to have 4 different customized modes that are easily adjustable on the controller with the tap of a button. So right here, I have racing number 1, my custom first-person shooter is number 2, the arcade fighting for number 3, and then the infiltration for number 4. And really, that's the whole app. Not much to see, but it's very easy to use. Oh man! Oh man, I was on a streak. Oh, what?
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
And we are back, and after using this for some actual gameplay sessions, I'm actually really liking the controller. It's lightweight, although of course you can customize the weight with the little weights that go inside the controller to weigh it down a little bit if you like it a bit heavier like I do. The controls are actually very responsive and easily customizable. It's great. You can button map everything, especially these back buttons. It really comes in handy when you're trying to like jump and shoot at the same time, or crouch and spin and do different kinds of stuff depending on what game you're playing, if you happen to play games like Call of Duty or Fortnite. Now I do really like this LED light that's customizable. I do wish there was one on the other thumbstick as well, but you know, I guess there isn't, so there's not really much I can do about that, but I would personally prefer that. I also would prefer if these lit up too. I just like lights, but it would be cool if you could turn them off too, so I mean, I'd like to have the option to have all the different lights if I want them. It's really great that you're able to get Dolby Atmos included with the controller, so you can have that spatial 3D audio experience, so you can have an extra competitive advantage in gameplay as well. Now, of course, personally, I do prefer to have a wireless controller. I wish this did have a wireless option, although, you know, the licensing of the wireless proprietary software that Microsoft uses would cost a pretty penny, and then this controller would be a lot more expensive. I also wish this was a bit more rubberized for the thumbsticks, although they do work well, so it's not too much of a complaint, but I just prefer to feel that rubbery grip when I'm playing my games, but you know, personal preference, because these work just fine. All in all, this is a great controller. It looks good, it works well, and you can definitely get a competitive advantage with all the different features you have included with this controller, and I really like that it has an app on the Xbox natively, so you can actually customize everything that you want, including making those custom profiles that you can easily toggle with the button on the back. It's definitely a solid controller. The price isn't too extravagant, and if you're a competitive gamer, you can't go wrong with this one.